Yes, you've read the title. Halo 4 is underrated, and I actually like the game. Despite its flaws and fair criticisms, I think its good qualities make up for it. Now, before you crucify me, just hear me out. Now, to say Halo 4 is quite divisive is a severe understatement. And considering it was 343's first Halo game, much of the fanbase was quite cautious, if not downright apprehensive about the new era. And lo and behold, once the title released, a lot of people were not happy about many things, especially considering the new direction 343 tried to take. From the general art style change, Spartan 4's, gameplay mechanics, the story supposedly being too serious, and more. And look, even I acknowledge some of these flaws, and you will not find me blindly defending 343. And overall, compared to the Bungie era titles, Halo 4 still doesn't hold that much weight, which also shows the enormous shoes 343 had to fill. That being said, I do think Halo 4 was a bit overhated by the fanbase, and personally, as I've gotten older and developed more nuance compared to my teenage years, I've started to appreciate Halo 4 a lot more, and it even holds some special qualities that all the other Halo titles don't really have. And before we proceed, I will mostly focus on the campaign and story aspects of Halo 4, though I may make minor comments about the gameplay mechanics and multiplayer as well. So with that said, let's explore the reasons why Halo 4 is underrated. This part may seem minor, but I absolutely adore Halo 4's music. In fact, it really fits the mood of Halo 4, which is more somber and melancholy as opposed to the more exciting and bombastic tracks of the Bungie era. The track 117 perfectly encapsulates the journey of the Master Chief as he navigates a changed galaxy, and its usage in the legendary ending really did it justice. The track Legacy perfectly emits the magnificent wonders of the Forerunner civilization and the great legacy they left behind. The track Nemesis perfectly strikes the fear and terror projected from the awakening of the Didact. And of course, the best of all, there could be no better choice of music to represent the parting of the Master Chief and Cortana during the ending, Green and Blue. The slow and somber piano perfectly hits home the raw emotional moment between the two companions, and it's really hard not to shed tears whenever I watch this scene.
It was my job to take care of you.
We were supposed to take care of each other. And we did.
Damn, it hits me every time. But of course, some fans are upset that the glorious Marty O'Donnell didn't return to compose the soundtrack, which does make it feel quite alien from the Bungie era music. And don't get me wrong, Marty and Michael Salvatore made some kick-ass soundtracks, such as the ones in Halo 3 ODST and Reach. However, Halo 4 also represents a new change and opportunity in the broader universe, and it's only fitting that the music represent that change as well. And fortunately, it works. And I would love to show sample pieces of these soundtracks, if only they weren't copyrighted. So if you wish, feel free to look them up yourself. And speaking of change, 343's attempt to explore deeper into the Forerunners was also an extremely refreshing change. During the Bungie era, the nature of the Forerunners was left intentionally vague by the writers to really emphasize their mysterious and enigmatic nature. There were even hints implying that the Forerunners were actually the direct ancestors of humans, which is something the die-hard fans still rigorously debate on to this day. But that's a topic for another video. But as the Forerunners begin playing a much more active role in the post-Bungie Halo storylines, I'm glad that 343 started fleshing out the Forerunners into an actual alien civilization with character. And the animations from the Halo 4 terminals especially do a great job highlighting the various struggles the Forerunners went through, from their war against ancient humanity, the failed containment against the Flood, the development of the Halo rings, and of course, the motives behind the Didact's seeming madness in the game. In the Bungie era games, the Forerunners were left mostly as some footnote on the overall story, with the main focus being on the Covenant. But in the 343 era, with the Covenant now gone, it only makes sense that the mysteries of the Forerunners now be unraveled. Unraveled in ways that actually humanizes the Forerunners. How they were quite similar to humanity, but also different in its own ways. How they were indeed quite advanced and intelligent, but also not these infallible and omnipotent beings like the Covenant believed them to be. How they achieved many great accomplishments, yet also committed many great sins. And speaking of the Didact, although I concede that he could have been written much better in the main storyline, in fact it would have been preferable for some parts of the terminals to be actual cutscenes, The fact that an actual living Forerunner made a resurgence and goes on a revanchist warpath to re-establish Forerunner primacy makes for an awesome plot. And considering all the horrors that Didac went through in his younger years, it makes sense why he's so hellbent on wiping out humanity. That said, the real fight in Halo 4 isn't against the Forerunners or even the Storm Covenant, but one more personal. In fact, this next reason is what truly makes Halo 4 special out of all the other titles. Imagine any of your loved ones, your parents, grandparents, siblings, friends, any one of them, and they're slowly succumbing to terminal and fatal illness, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Nothing except helplessly watch them decline to their fate. That is precisely what happens in Halo 4.
Cortana.
I was put into service 8 years ago.
8 years.
AIs deteriorate after 7, Chief.
Halsey.
Chief.
We need to find Halsey.
Chief, please.
She made you. She can fix you.
I won't recover from rampancy, Chief.
If we can just get back to Earth and find Halsey, she can fix this.
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
The Master Chief's immediate first response is to look for a solution to the problem. As a soldier since childhood, he's been conditioned to never let failure be an option and succeed in any mission, no matter the cost. But the Master Chief is a soldier. Yes, a super soldier, but still a soldier nonetheless, not a scientist or an engineer. But if he can't fix her, he would try to buy as much time as possible and find her the help she needs. Yet, with every step along the journey, Cortana's rampancy worsens, from minor vocal glitches.
Checking coordinate impact data.
We have asked you to give up your family, your childhood, your future.
Cortana.
I'm sorry. It's the crash. I'm fine.
Something was wrong even before we left the Dawn.
Chief? Really? I'm fine.
To uncontrollable outbursts that jeopardizes everyone's safety, making her a liability.
I will not allow you to leave this planet!
Cortana.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do that.
Chief and Cortana may not have spent that many years together, but the time they did spend together was during the Chief's most defining moments of his life. It was Cortana who always stayed within Chief, literally that is, when he journeyed into the howling darkness. Together, they stopped the activation of Alpha Halo, defended Earth from the Covenant, and ultimately destroyed the Flood on the Ark. But more importantly, she was the one thing the Chief could refer to as a friend, being more than just comrades in arms. The Chief already saved her once from the flood-infested High Charity, and he would do the damnedest to ensure her survival once more. Yet, deep down, Cortana knows her time is running out, and no amount of willpower could possibly change course. Yet, for the Chief, failure is not an option, unwilling to accept the writing on the wall, almost to the point of outright denial. Nor does the Chief know how to acknowledge these undeniable cracks, trying his best to ignore them and only focus on the mission.
I monitored the data pulse. I could hear them. What was left of them?
We need to move.
These people are gone.
And more will follow if the Didact reaches Earth.
They'll pair you with another AI. Maybe even another Cortana model if Halsey lets them.
That's not going to happen.
It won't be me. You know that, right?
In the end, his efforts are futile, with Cortana ultimately sacrificing her last bits of energy to shield him from the nuclear blast, saving the Earth, but at a great cost. For the first time, the Master Chief feels completely powerless. He may be a Spartan too, a super soldier, conditioned to suppress all emotion, but even he begins to noticeably crack as the inevitable dawns on him.
Wait.
Come home, John.
The Master Chief, Spartan John 117, not just a war hero, but the hero of all humanity, has defeated the best warriors of the Covenant, took down an entire interstellar empire, survived against a flood, arguably saved the entire galaxy from extinction, as well as even stopping the Didact at the end from composing all of the Earth. Yet, he still couldn't save the one companion he cared about the most. The one companion that allowed him to feel a semblance of being human. And for the first time in decades, the Master Chief experiences loss and grief. And just on a personal note, as someone who recently experienced loss and grief, this particular scene really hits me home harder than it did before the passing.
I'm getting you out of here.
No, you're not. No, don't let her go. Don't ever let her go. Send me out with a bang.
In the Bungie-era games, the Master Chief was clearly made to be the stoic super soldier whose sole focus is destroying the enemy, an almost robotic-like entity purely fixated on the mission at hand. And it's no wonder. The Master Chief was kidnapped from his family by Oni at age 7, stripped of his surname, forced to endure grueling military training for years, pumped up with drugs and operated with invasive surgeries that killed 40% of his fellow trainees, before suited up in a titanium armor and fighting the Covenant for almost 3 decades. The Master Chief, just like all his other fellow Spartans, never had a healthy and formative childhood, where you go on playdates, sleepovers, field trips, prom, having your first kiss, and more. The Chief and the Spartans are, for all intents and purposes, empty husks brainwashed by the UNSC to be the ultimate soldiers, nothing more. Yet, in one scene before the final showdown with the Didact, his AI companion requests one promise from the Chief.
I can give you over 40,000 reasons why I know that sun isn't real. I know it because the emitter's Rayleigh effect is disproportionate to its suggested size. I know it because its stellar cycle is more symmetrical than that of an actual star. But for all that, I'll never actually know if it looks real. If it feels real. Before this is all over, promise me you'll figure out which one of us is the machine.
Ironic that this is coming from an AI construct. And if the Master Chief isn't the machine, then underneath all the titanium Mjolnir suit, who is John? And that is perhaps what Halo 4 tried to ask all of us. Just who is the Master Chief, other than the Spartan super soldier we all know him as? And with the loss of Cortana, for the first time, the Chief is finally forced to face these uncomfortable truths about himself.
Chief, I won't pretend to know how you feel. I mean, I've lost people I care about, but never anything like you're going through.
Our duty as soldiers is to protect humanity, whatever the cost.
You say that like soldiers and humanity are two different things. I mean, soldiers aren't machines. We're just people. I'll let you have the deck to yourself.
She said that to me once. About being a machine.
Along with the attempt to really flesh out the Forerunners beyond just some mysterious ancient aliens, Halo 4 did an exemplar job showing the bond between the Master Chief and Cortana and the sensitive themes of loss and grief along with it. Where the Master Chief, a seemingly unstoppable super soldier who's fought entire alien armies, is still unable to stop the passing of someone he deeply cares about, as well as a struggle to cope with it. And the beautiful soundtrack serves as cherry on the top. But when Halo 4 came out, many fans didn't like the new direction of the overly emotional and serious moments, and expected something more lighthearted and action-packed like the Bungie-era titles. Even the Master Chief having his vulnerable moments seemed out of place, and many fans preferred their beloved Spartan to remain the stoic and robotic badass he was before. But as time passes, I've noticed some comments where older fans begin appreciating the dynamic between the Chief and Cortana in Halo 4, especially after experiencing their own moments of loss and grief, which allowed them to view these moments under a much different light than before. Besides, being a badass super soldier and being emotionally vulnerable are not mutually exclusive. In fact, it only makes the Chief human, which is also not a bad thing. Still, in the end, I believe the broader fanbase just wasn't ready for Halo 4 and its new direction, which was indeed a far cry from the more casual and even comedy-filled stories from the earlier titles. And again, with the shadow of the Bungie-era games still looming over 343 Industries, they had some pretty big shoes to fill. Now, before you accuse me of being a 343 writer or a Bungie hater, I acknowledge that Halo 4 still has a lot of issues that made it have a rough start upon release and therefore perfectly deserving of criticism. For one, I agree with many that Halo 4's lackluster gameplay mechanics hurt its replayability. Even I, as someone who plays games more for their stories than single player, found it difficult to enjoy the campaign as the levels increasingly became more repetitive and tedious the further I progressed. And likewise, if you're more focused on multiplayer and could care less about the single player, I imagine Halo 4 really isn't your cup of tea. 2, like many, I'm not the biggest fan of the art style change, especially with the elites, which one, they act more like brutes than anything, except skinnier. Hell, even the brutes actually moved faster than these guys, like come on! And 3, I'm a little more mixed on this, but while I like the Spartan 4s on a conceptual level, I think their portrayal was poorly executed, especially at Spartan Ops. With all that being said, despite their shortfalls, I still applaud 343 for having the courage to try something different and shed light on some overlooked aspects, especially the Master Chief's internal struggles and vulnerabilities, and the broader implications towards the overall Spartan program. Because even the best super soldier of humanity isn't perfect. No matter how much it's been repressed, deep down, the Master Chief is still human. Everyone always asks what the Master Chief is doing, but no one bothers to ask, how is the Master Chief doing? And it was Cortana, an AI companion, who genuinely cared for the Master Chief's well-being, and allowed the Spartan super soldier to still remain and feel human. And once again, Halo 4 did a spectacular job highlighting all of this. The somberness, loss, tragedy, it was all so moving. Which is why Halo 4 will always have a special place in my heart, as well as why it is so underrated. And I look forward to more of it. And then Halo 5 came out, which, I have a lot of opinions on this as well, so be on the lookout for a video on that as well. But until then, I'd like to know what y'all think of Halo 4. Have you come to appreciate Halo 4, or are you still committed to Bungie-era titles only? And even if you don't like Halo 4, did this video at least help you reconsider certain aspects of the game? Comment below because I'd like to know what y'all think as well. But please, keep it civil down there. The Halo community can be quite heated sometimes. We don't need to make it worse. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon for supporting this channel. My $5 patrons are Kapitan Sladek, Kidzap, and Chocobird. My $2 patrons are Komida the Prep Cook Demon. If you would like to appear at the end credits of my videos, as well as have early access and exclusive content on Patreon, feel free to hop on over to patreon.com/LTELawrence and give a pledge. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you would like to see my artwork as well, feel free to check out my other platforms like DeviantArt for my entire gallery. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is T. Lawrence signing out. Have a good one.